there's no instance in conscience or convenience. Even though you stand on heavy shoulders, I take the roundabout 'cause I like to see St. Jude again and again.
What's up? This is Elia Einhorn. Welcome to the Talkhouse Podcast. Today I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Amy Rose Spiegel, Talkhouse Music's editor-in-chief. Today on the podcast, we have Ryley Walker interviewing one of his heroes, Norman Blake from Teenage Fanclub.
Ryley Walker is the young finger-picking wonderkind from Chicago. He's known for his gorgeous, repetitive finger-style guitar playing, influenced by artists like John Fahey and Nick Drake. Walker's also known for incorporating a lot of Chicago's very rich free jazz scene's musicians into his live sets and on the records.
Right, and we've heard that, Elia, on labels like Dead Oceans and Drag City, and Norman Blake is in his own way associated with specific scenes and microcosms as well.
He really is. Teenage Fanclub have morphed infinite times over the years. They came to prominence in the UK with the C86 scene, signed to Creation Records, and broke through in America with 1991's Bandwagonesque, which, very contentiously I might say, won Album of the Year in Spin's 91 year-end poll over Nirvana's Nevermind.
I mean, I'm going to leave that for others to decide, but in the meantime, these guys have recently, in 2016, both released records. We have Ryley Walker's Golden Sings That Have Been Sung, and then Norman Blake with Teenage Fanclub, of course, released Here.
That was their first record in 6 years. He's been working on a lot of cool things in the past. Like Ryley, Norman enjoys working with artists that are a little bit more, I'm going to say this in air quotes, out there. He's worked with Jad Fair of Half Japanese. He talks in this conversation about working with a Japanese band called Tennis Coats. And of course, he's worked with Eros Child of Gorky's Zygotic Monkey, the fantastic Welsh band that are known for very psychedelic experimentation.
These guys truly go all in on what they love, and that's discussed a lot in this talk. We hear about what it's like to be a career musician as well, feeling the anxiety of performing live and going with what you're really into on your records and just doing it for life and how that has worked for each of them.
This is one of those conversations we sometimes have on the podcast where you really feel as if you're sitting backstage in the green room after soundcheck with the musicians who are just sitting back, talking bullshit, enjoying everything about the life they lead, and really getting an inside scoop unmoderated. We happen to have mics in front of them, lucky for us.
Let's go spy. Let's roll it.
Hello?
Hey, Ryley.
Oh my God, it's Norman Blake.
Hey, how you doing, Ryley? Okay.
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I think about 40 minutes late, but here we are at last. Where are you at the moment, Ryley? Are you home?
I'm home in Chicago, Illinois, USA.
Fantastic. I'm not too far away from you. I'm over in Kitchener, Ontario. What's the weather like there today? Because you know what? We're probably going to get your weather in about 10 hours. So,
oh man, yeah, I'll send over the floaty vibes. Yesterday it was gorgeous out, you know. I was riding my bike. I went to the lake and I got a hot dog.
Oh, fantastic.
And today it's just, piss clouds, rain.
Oh, well, okay. Well, do you know what? We've got the good weather today, so that's so kind of expecting the pissy weather tomorrow then. Good to know.
Have fun in the future with it. I had to turn on the heat actually again.
Oh, jeez. Sure thing. We'll do that, definitely, yeah. Are you just back from a tour?
Yeah, man, I was really heady and psychedelic tour. We were just in Portugal, which is beautiful. Have you spent time there?
I've been there, a couple of times. We're playing as part of Primavera Sound in April. Not April. This is we're already in May. So I think early June we're going to be over there in Porto. We play in Barcelona the week before, and then the week later we play in Porto. So I think that's going to be pretty good.
Oh my God, yeah, man, Lisbon, Portugal is where... Have you played a gig in Lisbon at all?
Do you know, I have actually, fairly recently, I did an album with Jad Fair from Half Japanese. Do you know
that? Of course, I've got all the records you guys have done together.
Okay, well, me and Jad, when we were promoting the album we made recently, we did a show there. Now, I can't remember the name of the venue. It's a kind of little arts venue.
ZDB.
That's the very place, yeah, we played it. Were you in there?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, we did 2 nighs there. They have such a great program, such good people there,
They do, and it's a great venue, isn't it? And a great part of town. Of course, the food's great there too. So that was probably about a year and a half ago, something like that, But a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to getting back. Of course, we're going to be there for a day, but that's fine. And so you were out there. You did that. But were you? Now Debbie was telling me that you were also in Ireland as well. You were kind of flipping between Ireland and Portugal.
Yeah, it was kind of a bizarre tour, to go from the south, the weird part of Europe on the Atlantic Ocean, up to Ireland. So it's definitely the different ends of the spectrum. Yeah, we did 6 gigs in Ireland. We do really well there. It's,
yeah, well, I know you can do it. I mean, it's great fun touring in Ireland too. You sort of take all those little country roads to get to, whatever, over to Donegal or whatever, and playing Limerick and stuff. But yeah, we do okay there too. It's always been good for us as well. No, we just got back from a 70-date tour. With a little break, but we started in, where was it? Oh, in Inverness in Scotland in September. Did a bit of a UK tour, then went.
Jesus.
Well, then we went to the US, did most of the East Coast, and then we had a week or two off. Then we did a big. Started in Paris, did a big European run of shows. Then we went to Japan, Australia, flew up 14 and a half hours direct from Melbourne to Los Angeles, and then we did about 10 days on the West Coast, and so we just got back from that about 2 weeks ago. So as you can imagine, we're completely wiped out, but it was great fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's so bizarre. I'm surprised your brain isn't mush at this point. I mean, you guys still road dog so hard, I guess you guys need that and you'd like that so much. It's incredible.
Well, as long as people want to come and see us, we'll do the shows. But no, I think we also wanted to sort of compress most of it into one block and get the pain over with. Not that it's pain playing in front of an audience, but the travelling stuff can be a pain sometimes, But no, the shows were really good fun. We had a good time. And yeah, like I said, but not many days off. So there you go.
Yeah, I hate days off on tour. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's obviously a lot of people need a day to just kind of collect yourself and, for the love of God, do some laundry.
Yeah.
But days off make me so confused. It's like pumping the brakes too hard on some forward motion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. You kind of lose momentum, don't you? And then when you go to so you have the day off, and then you get the show the next day, and you kind of feel done in, or you find it hard to sort of get back into the whole thing. Well, that's how I feel anyway. So I'm kind of with you on that, and in some ways, although like you say, the laundry day, there's nothing like just, looking at that little sort of looking oval window and watching your underwear sort of flipping around.
Yeah, man. You get the tour stink is gone. Yeah, and you have a whole day to just, you ignore all your band members. You're like, I'm going to just go to a room and think for a second by myself.
It's great. And then you get back and the other guys haven't done their laundry, so you can't have this kind of smug look on your face because, you've got the little bag with all your fresh sort of clean clothing.
Yeah, and you're just you smelly bastards.
Yeah, totally, yeah. But that's, I do look forward to that. I think actually on that last tour we did a group laundry day. That was pretty good. Los Angeles, 6 or 7 of us all sitting in this little laundrette. Yeah, that was...
It's so funny, to the average listener, people don't really go on tour much. They'll be like, what the hell is every band knows laundry day is just it's going to church and getting baptized or something. It's just the most refreshing feeling.
It really is. People are thinking, God, these guys enjoy that, but of course we do. How many?
I love nothing more.
Yeah, how many guys are you out on the road with, Ryley, when you tour?
Man, I guess it all depends on economics and time. Because I play with a bunch of free jazz bones,
Yeah.
They're all good friends, but Chicago is just so dense with great free jazz improvised people. So I tend to play a lot with those sorts of people.
Amazing,
and, I've played upwards of 6 people down to just as duo, me solos. So I kind of like that. Every show is kind of different in that sense. I have people who I play with a lot and who are very good friends, but the show's always different with different players, and I always think that's exciting, because we jam a lot, we improvise so much, kind of.
Yeah, that's. I'm totally with you on that. We have a kind of stable lineup for the fan club for most shows. But on this last tour, so Dave, who normally plays keyboards and guitar with us, he also plays with Bell and Sebastian. And he had a commitment to do a kind of show with them, which meant that he couldn't do our West Coast tour, or the West Coast dates. So I've got a friend, a guy called Michael Lerner, who plays in the band Telekinesis. Do you know that band from Seattle?
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Right, well, Michael's a friend, and so I kind of called him at the last minute, 4 days before we were flying into the US, and ask him if he would be up for learning the parts, which he did amazingly, actually. In a very short period of time, learned about 15 songs. But yeah, it was just nice and interesting having something new in the gang. It just made it a bit more fun. Of course, it's fun playing with Dave. If Dave's listening to this, don't worry, Dave. We still love you. But it was good doing that. But I guess I enjoy sort of. I mean, I suppose I've made the record. I make records with Jad Fair, and I also worked with a guy called Eros Childs quite a bit. Do you know the band Gorky's Zygotic Monkey, Welsh band?
No, I don't know them.
Oh, they're worth checking out. So Eros Childs was the main songwriter and singer with them, based in Cardiff, and kind of part of the same scene that Super Furry Animals and Kate LeBon and those people are from.
Of course.
But we have a band, and so that's something different. But yeah, it's just nice to mix it up, isn't it? Work with different musicians.
Yeah, and because I always like to play different shows, as far as improvising stuff. So, and it goes beyond changing the set list up, Yeah. Because I'll show up in London, and like somebody in the band's like, I know this great like far out sax player. I'm like, let's get him on a song, man. And a half hour drone pass. It's just it's so important to me to have kind of every show be totally wild and different and kind of risky in that way. I also suck at writing songs that I can just play the same every night. You're just such an amazing songwriter.
Well, I don't know.
I can't really stand behind my songs. I can't stand behind mine like that.
Well, I like the idea. I like what you're saying, like about taking a risk every day. But on this tour, we did stick to the same set for most of the tour, partly because we had someone new in and it made it a little easier. But the way that we mix up and challenge ourselves is maybe trying to we'll dig up a song from our ancient past. We won't rehearse it; we'll just go for it. And we like to do that quite a bit. So that that's if we're looking to challenge ourselves on stage, that's how we do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you ever play songs from like The Kings still at all? Like those fried songs? I
mean, we have done, in the fairly recent past. Someone may say, someone will maybe suggest that we may meet someone during the day who will ask that very question. Have you played something from that album recently? And that will get us thinking, maybe we should give one of them a go tonight. But it's with some of those songs, because it was completely, absolutely spontaneous and improvised.
See, that's why I love that record. It's so far out. I mean, even if you guys were a huge risk-taking band, like you guys experiment a lot, with like different players and different sounds. But like that record is fucking fried, man. It's so heavy. I love it. It's so far out.
Right, I should give you a bit of background to how we made that, because we were making the Bandwagon-esque album. And we were in the studio with Don Fleming, who had been in Ball, and I guess Ball were great kind of experimenters, and they would kind of just chuck stuff together. And we had it was one sort of drunken afternoon. We'd had a few beers, and Don said, "Why don't we make an album inside the album?" We thought, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea." We're probably stoned as well. And he said, "Okay, what we'll do is the challenge is that we'll make an entire album this evening, And so we thought, okay, let's go for it. Why not? And so I think we did all sorts of things. Of course, switching instruments. Then we would lay something down. Then we would flip the tape over and then play on top of that. That was kind of how that was done. And then in terms of the covers, I think someone said, okay, let's do some covers, but let's not listen to them. Let's kind of do them from memory. So you can't can't go and reference them. You've just got to try and piece it together from the fragments of the song that you have in memory. So that was how those came about. But it was a lot of fun. But here's the thing. So I think when we did that record, Alan McGee, who ran Creation, we went to Alan. We said, look, we did this sort of thing overnight. We'd love to release it, but maybe do 500 or something. And I think there was some kind of confusion, and Creation ended up pressed about 5,000 of them or something like that. So,
oh my God.
So it was, I guess, supposed to be some little boutique sort of piece, but it ended up being something more than that. But it was a lot of fun to do it, though.
No, that's kind of like the cult. I mean, like, all your records they stand up so hard, but I think that's kind of like a cult record. Like, amongst me and my friends who love your band, we're always just, we'll put on, the Grand Prix or, songs from Northern Britain, on a nice Sunday morning when we want to relax.
Yeah.
But, that's kind of like the deep fried, true Teenage Fan Club head.
Sure.
Like, whoa.
Well, listening to your recordings too. So you're talking about improv. Do you improv when you're in the studio as well? I mean, do you like to just let it out, or will you really construct things before you get in? I guess it depends on the record and how you're recording it, whether you're doing it on your own or,
Yeah, I mean, with the context of the record, I mean, because I usually write songs. We'll put out a record and we'll write songs on the tour for that record. And we'll play like 2 songs off the new record and just do a bunch of new stuff, which I really enjoy.
Sure, yeah.
And like that's how we write. We write on stage. Literally, like I'll be in sound check or in the green room and I'll like have a weird guitar tune. I'm like, oh, let's jam on this and I think this can go somewhere.
Yeah,
and sometimes we fall flat on our face and it fucking sucks.
Sure.
Other times it's great.
No, I think there's a lot to be said for that because, with us, we tend to write in the studio. And I'm sorry, I've completely cut. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but no. We often find that when you get after you start playing the songs live, they kind of eventually find the correct tempo and stuff. So I'm assuming that by playing them live before you record them, they kind of find tempos and that you get the feel of them right before you get into record them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I guess when we get into the studio, we kind of pare it down, for the context of a record being 45 minutes, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
And I would love to make some sort of Roy Harper-esque Stormcock where there's, only 4 songs, but that's, Jesus Christ, I don't think my brain is capable of making something that hard,
Yeah.
But yes, in the studio, we just pare it down to a song, and then we expand upon it more and more live. So it's kind of a new song every time we play it, which is one of the joys of doing it live with so many crazy musicians. And stuff.
That's a great way to do it. It's a great way to work. It keeps it really fresh, doesn't it? But like I said, I love the idea that you've kind of, it's something I'd like to do, like take some songs out on the road and play them live and then record them. Because I mean, we like to record as live. We usually overdub the vocals, and mainly because we haven't written the lyrics by the time we get to the studio usually. But we'll always put the songs down, as a band. We like to go for that and get as much of it, done that way. And then a few overdubs later on, but generally we like to get the main thing out of the way. I always like I remember we kind of friendly with Frank Black, and he did a couple of albums with the Catholics where they went straight to 2-track. They just set it all up and did a load of takes until they got one that they liked. And I like the idea that, say you get 10 songs, you run over them 8 or 10 times each, and at the end of the process, you've got the completed album, It's great, that.
Are you the kind of band who does like 100 takes of every song, like drive it into the ground, like let's do it 100 different ways, 100 times? Like, are you meticulous about every single song?
Well, I think we probably, this is how we'd normally work. Well, I could tell you how we worked on this, our most recent album, and this would be kind of how we have generally worked over the years. We'll go in the morning and someone will have a song idea, and we'll before we get into the studio, we'll maybe get together for 2 days, and we each run over our songs. And there are 3 of us who write, so we tend to have 5 songs each, something like that. And then we get into the studio, and then we'll do like a song a day. So in the morning we'll set up, work out what the instrumentation or whatever, so say 2 guitars, keyboard and drums, and then we'll kind of run over that song. I wouldn't say that we would run the song 100 times, but we could do it 20 or 30 times, and then by that 25th to 30th time, you've generally got the take. And then, like I say, after that, we usually have to maybe drop in vocals and maybe a couple of little, whatever you might put hand claps or something on there, or percussion or something. And then, once you get the vocal down, the track's done. So that's. I mean, what it's like. Every group of people has a different way of working that suits them, and which will, lead to creativity or whatever. And it's the amazing thing about that is it's always different when you change the group of people.
Yeah, the studio kind of drives me nuts. I'm not that good in a studio. I get like the studio sort of cabin fever, really bad. You're in there for a week straight.
Yeah.
And you'll do 30 damn takes of the same song, and like after a while, the producer, engineer, or whoever be like, "Do you remember this take?" And it's like, no, they all sound the same. Like I have no idea what's a good take and what's a bad take anymore. Like your ears just don't work after a while. You don't have any sort of judgment.
Yeah, totally.
On the song.
You can lose the plot. That's why we kind of know. I mean, I know a lot of people will do. We never worked to a click track actually. What we'll do is that we'll have a tempo generally. Okay, so we'll maybe have like a metronome that'll start the tempo, but we'll drop that out immediately. As soon as the band are in, that goes. And the good thing about that is it stops you from, a lot of people I think would like to do a lot of takes on Pro Tools, then they'll cut and paste sections of the song in. And I think we definitely see Pro Tools as a tape recorder, and that's on this album we recorded in France, and we were going to go to analog. They had a 24-track machine in there, but no one had used it for months, and so when we set it up, it was shedding tape. It wasn't working properly. So we thought, oh well, here you go, fuck that, we'll go Pro Tools. And
did you record it in Scotland?
We recorded this one in a place in the south of France called Vega. Raymond, our guitar player, found this place. They have an old, see, like the old EMI desks that I guess the Beatles used and stuff, and it's got those reverse faders. They go in the opposite direction. But it was a great space. It was an old French sort of, sort of country farm or whatever, middle of a load of vineyards. So we had some great cheese and wine in that session. That was really good.
Oh, some fromage.
Oh, it was tremendous. Yeah, it was good times. I mean, in some ways, it's quite sad that you can get these amazing residential studios for not a lot of money, and it's great for us, but it's not great for the people who own them because, I think a lot of them are struggling now.
Oh sure, yeah.
So, which is a shame, but we always like the idea of going somewhere that isn't home, that isn't Glasgow.
Oh my God, I was going to ask you because I've done every record basically in Chicago, mostly out of economic reasons. Like a budget.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of money to fly 5 human souls across the country to a nice studio in LA or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
But I live like 6 blocks from the place I record at, and like we're making a new record right now, and it's going real well.
Yeah,
but I'm starting to be like, what? Why the hell? Like, I'm seeing my neighbors as I'm like walking out of the studio. I'm like, I need to like get away from reality and like kind of go into some fantasy.
Well, that happened to us. When we were making our album 13, we did it in Glasgow, and it took us months because we were so distracted. I partly jaded from touring a lot with the previous record, and worn out. But there were too many distractions. We were young, and we had a load of friends around who wanted to go out and party all the time. So we ended up doing a lot of that. It took us so at that point we decided, okay, from now on we'll always try and get out of Glasgow to record. So we've made an album in Chicago at Soma with John McIntyre. We made our Man Made.
Yeah, Man Made.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And
that's one of my favorite records of all time. No shit. I love that. I hold it so dearly. Good. It's so good.
Well, we had a lot of fun making that. But so for that record, our stomping ground was Division and the walk down to John's studio. But it was a lot of fun. And so, like I said, that's the reason we found this place in France. I mean, the other good thing about recording is Europe is that it's really cheap to fly. I mean, you can get Ryanair if you're not taking it. So what we did with that is a couple of the guys went down with a vehicle, a van, took all the equipment down, and then the rest of us flew down. So it wasn't that expensive. And the studio, it's like it has accommodation, and it was all included in the price. So...
Oh my God, that sounds beautiful.
But yeah,
I gotta take your advice on that. Yeah,
it's worth giving it a go. But I mean, and also I think just being in a different environment puts you in a different creative headspace or whatever, which can help. I don't know, but I guess whatever gets you to the end result is as long as it works is good.
Yeah, getting to the end result of a record it's like for at least for me, I'm like. There'll be a day where I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever fucking done. I'm so happy. The next day I'm like, oh my God, I'm a hack. I'm a fraud.
Oh, I know the feeling of that. We must all go through it, right? Everyone must do that. And it's like, sometimes you get to the end of the day, you're totally elated. This is amazing, and then so you get, for some reason, it just sounds totally different the next day, like really flat and dull the next day or something. That's just the way it goes. How far into this recording are you, and how long will you record for?
Well, this is the first, because usually I've done records kind of punk rock style, like book 5 for 7 days of studio time, like 1, 2, 3, 4, go, song, finish the record, now.
Yeah.
So we started on it in January, and it's super far out. I can't wait for it to be out in the world.
Great.
And so we'll just do like a couple days at a time. Like you're saying, like I just want to take time on it, and so we'll do a couple days, and then take a month off.
Yeah,
a couple days, take a month off, because I just want to hear everything with fresh ears.
Yeah,
because I've gone through that self-doubt thing so many times making records. That it's so nice to have new perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it definitely gives you that time. It's like Raymond from our group always says, and I think this is true. It's not only about the song; it's about the environment. And that so that's in terms of your location, but it is also about from week to week you can be just being emotionally in a different place or whatever, and that can really influence how you perform and and how you hear things.
You're so sweet, you're so fine, there's a glimmer in your eye,
hard to getting older that I've, the one particular thing of just, I'm 27 now. I've been touring since I was like 18. A bad gig used to just ruin me for weeks, I think about it for weeks. Like, Jesus, like nowadays, I don't know, like I just, like a really simple advice from a friend was like, we're going to play another gig tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't the last one. It's just, that's such a big hump to get over,
Oh, sure, it is. Do you know, here's the thing, too. I think it was easier in the past, too, because there wasn't any YouTube or people didn't film you. So in the past, you would do a gig and that would be it. I mean, for most of the gigs that we've done, over our career, whatever, that are unrecorded. Whereas, like now, like every show is recorded, everything that you do.
Everybody's got a video of you like fucking up a note while you're singing or something now. It's kind of funny.
I mean, it's the last thing that I find it, and I'm sure you're the same. I find it masochistic to listen to my own music.
Oh my God,
super masochistic to watch a video of myself on YouTube. It's the last thing I would want to do. If you got me in Guantanamo Bay in an orange jumpsuit and you wanted to get me to answer some questions, just start playing some Teenage Fanclub live videos. I would tell you everything you needed to know. It's torture for me.
I can't even, like, if I hear my record, I'm just like, I gotta leave the room right now. I can't.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. In the past, you would do in-stores and they would say, we're going to play the record in the background. We would always say, could you play some other music in the background?
Yeah, please, for the love of God, do not play my music.
Yeah, the people here are probably going to buy it anyway, right? Because they've come along, right? So let's let them listen to something else because I think it's that thing. The last time you can enjoy listening to it is just when you're putting the finishing touches to it in the studio, or you get it mastered and you have that final listen. And that like I said, that will be the last time that I listen to the record.
That's a really good feeling, man. Like after the record comes together, you get the master back and you hear it, and you're like, "Yep, that one's done. I feel really good." Next thing, it's just work, and that's what that's what I admire about you guys. I mean, you've been doing it for a while now, and you're pioneers in a sense of you're like an early Creation Records band, which is a big deal, for like, I'm not trying to bring up all your war stories.
No, sure,
You guys were pioneers of like, indie rock in Glasgow and in general, and it's, to this day, you're still innovative and still working your asses off, and it's so inspiring, man. Like, I can't tell you how much your records mean to me and my friends over the years. I have so many good memories. Actually, like, I have this really distinct memory when I first got into music. I was probably, 15 or 16 when I just got in a car and I got a job delivering pizza.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine gave me your CDs and I would listen in the car for about a whole summer. So I identified this summer of being 16 with your music and
that's good.
Getting stoned. It was so beautiful. Now to this day I just admire you so much.
Well, that's very good. Listen, so you're saying our music is good to get stoned and delivered pizzas to, which is good. I like that.
Kids, get high and listen to the Fannies.
That sounds good. But that's very good. Well, do you know what I think? The reason we're still around, we don't make records as often as we did in the past, and we're friends, but we're not we're not like a gang in that sense. We have a good relationship between the people in the group. That's down to, including our tour manager and David, who does our sound, who recorded the very first Orange Juice demos, the Ostrich Churchyard stuff. David Henderson, who does our sound, did those. But we've been with those people for, with Keith, 20 years or something. So for us, it's about having a good dynamic between the group of people. And that's an important thing for us. It's maybe why we're still around, and that it really is absolutely about, we have to enjoy it. It has to be a pleasurable experience. If we, here's the thing. There's no money in music nowadays anyway, so it's like, and there probably never was really. Apart
shit
from
business, that's for sure.
Apart from that, the tiny percent of people that will make something, but it's, as long as you still enjoy doing it, which I do, and we can just about scrape by, then we'll keep making records. But so what about you? So you're going to finish this record. When do you think it's going to be released?
Oh God, not for a while. I have another record, like a collaborative record coming out in the fall with this great guitarist named Bill McKay, who you love. He has Scottish roots too, so I think you guys would hit it off. He's a fantastic jazz guitar player, and we're putting a record out on Drag City in the fall.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
one of the all-time great labels. I'm super excited about that. And my record, we're working on it really slowly. Hope to finish it this summer and have it out next year. And just touring a shitload, all summer.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be in Scotland in August or something, or you're not there, so never mind.
Oh, I don't think. Oh, maybe, but I may well be back in August though, because we have the Primavera. Well, I'm not sure. What I'll do is I'll keep you posted. I've got your details now. I'll get at the end of this. I'll send you a message and give you my email address and stuff like that. And I can,
man, that'd mean the world. Yeah, and we got to go record shopping together, man. I heard record heads.
That would be a lot of fun.
I think it's a good place to end.
I think so, yes. It's been nice chatting with you, Ryley.
Man, honestly, it's a dream come true. I love and appreciate your record so much, and it's such a joy to talk to you, really. I mean it.
Likewise. And here's the thing. I hope do you think they've recorded? Do you think this has been recorded?
It's all I think it's on record.
Oh, that's good, because I was thinking if it wasn't, we could do it all again. It was a very
I could talk to you forever.
Very enjoyable chat.
Do you think of me when you're turning down the line? A world away, I dream of you tonight.
We are in the business of making dreams come true. So glad that we could help you out there, Ryley.
So these guys are both touring right now. We have Ryley Walker throughout Europe, and Norman Blake with Teenage Fanclub is doing the whole festival circuit. So if you want to see them, you've got plenty of opportunities.
Thanks to everyone who's been heading over to Stitcher and iTunes and giving us good reviews. Every good review you give us, you help other people find the podcast.
Yeah, and we also love it when you tweet us at Talkhouse. So let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.
Till then.
In the darkest